Baby, know I'm rockin', if I got it, then I got us. And if she ever need me, then I'm gon' pop her. And if I ever shoot my shot, then I'm gon' spot her. And knock it down, they play games, so baby, not us. When I'm with you, I feel like I can just forget all of my. When I'm with you, I feel like baby, I don't mean to be caught in my ways, but I'd rather have you by my side. So baby, would you ride for me? Would you die for me? So call me when you need my love. I pull up and show you my love, and it ain't the same with you. You are my medicine, my drug. You know I fiend for you, do anything for you.
Tonight, loving you every minute, every hour. Let's do say that this was meant to, babe. Even if the stars and the moon came crashing down, I'll be okay as long as I'm with you. I'm finished, baby, but now and then.
I'm coming, girl, I keep it on. I don't need for nothing, but I know that I need you. So baby, tell me that you want me. Girl, nobody ever thought that we could make it this far. And still to this day, you got the keys to my heart. So baby, tell me, is you mine and we could take our time? No need to rush, you hop inside if you try to slide. I feel sweet when you wrap up in these arms, Miguel. And me heart, I jump up like a carnival. So got you and me. We were meant to be. And you've always been my lover. Always been my lover.
Tonight, loving you every minute, every hour. Let's do say that this was meant to, babe. Even if the stars and the moon came crashing down, I'll be okay as long as I'm with you. I'm finished, baby, but now and then with
Everybody has pain. Hey, Talofa Utah, Talofa World, welcome into Buddha's Lounge under Everyday People. We are live, yes, in color, coming to you from CMB Production Studio. So my guest tonight, I'm telling you, you may not know his name, you may not even recognize his face, but if you're in Utah and you're benefiting from Prop 2 and the Utah Medical Card Program, he's definitely one of the guys you want to thank. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest tonight, one of the co-founders of Wholesome Co. out there in Bountiful. Please give it up for my guest, Alex Iorg.
Yeah.
Iorg.
Thank you. Thank you.
How come everybody spells it with the L?
Because, an I doesn't make sense to people.
It's
so
okay.
They just throw the L.
Hey, we're Polynesian. We have a lot of names that start with I. So
That's true.
Yeah. For all I know, you can be part Polynesian. Alex Iorg. Welcome into the show. Before we get into everything that is going on with you, the cannabis and medical cards and all of that, I wanted to make sure that everybody understood what we're doing today is called education. What we're also trying to do is make it entertaining. So edutainment is what we're doing today, and trying to educate people on the medical card program in the state of Utah. Alex, I wanted to ask you first, before we talk about, because you're on this business side now, right? Mm-hmm. Before this, you were on the political side. Tell me how it all started when you were trying to gather signatures for Prop 2.
So it started in 2015, and there are so many people who were part of this. Connor, DJ, Dez, like part of that UPC movement, so many patients. Even Senator Mark Madsen, who was the first senator to propose a cannabis legislation bill. And that was in 2015. And in 2014, they passed Charlie's Law, which was allowing kids with epilepsy to try CBD. And that was really what kicked it off. And we saw in Colorado, we saw Arizona, California, like we're surrounded by medical and now, adult use states. But it was knowing that we had to try through the legislature first. And then once that didn't work, can we take it to the people? And could we raise the funds? Could we gather the signatures? And it was a huge lift. No one person's responsible. 200,000 people are who signed those signatures, the petitions. and then got it on the ballot, and you had many more people vote for it. We passed it with 53%, and that was after a pretty hard fought battle. So
when they were handing out states and they were getting to Utah, were you like, don't give me Utah, please, I don't want Utah, I don't want Utah, I don't want Utah. Dang it, they gave me Utah.
Nah.
Just because of the culture.
I mean, I'm from here. I've done campaigns around the country.
Okay.
But Utah it's so important to me. Most people, whenever we would talk to them about cannabis in Utah, they'd be like, no way. Like, you guys are going to be the 50th state. And it turns out we weren't. We were like 36th, I think. So
yeah.
We beat a lot of other states.
We may have been last for Martin Luther King Jr. Day, but we're 33rd on cannabis. Hey.
Yeah, it was a big lift. And when people, like I said, when they have these experiences with people who can benefit from it, they realize the negative is so much smaller than the positive, especially whenever you're talking about people who are really in need. It becomes a very positive issue. And right now, our last poll showed 90% of the state in Utah supports medical cannabis.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up, because that was going to be one of my questions. Is there's a lot of states who are not part of the medical program, but they're just learning. I heard they're coming to Utah to kind of learn the ropes and maybe what to do, what not to do, and then take it back home.
Well, and you see the states that haven't, right? Largely red states, a lot of them in the South. You know, Georgia's close, but Alabama's close, Tennessee's close, Arkansas has a program. A lot of these.
I heard
Kentucky just started, yeah. This is their first year.
Okay.
So you see these conservative states who have looked at Utah and said, okay, what's the conservative blueprint? They hear about the disaster of California and Colorado. The last thing in these states you want to do is be like, hey, we're doing something like California. That won't get you very far.
Dun, 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 dun.
Right? So a blueprint for conservative states. Now, the trick that no one else has figured out is, how do you keep it a medical program? How do you not take that next step into adult use and continue to focus on patients and well-being?
And that's what I really hope, and that's the thing that really spoke to me, right? I hope that Utah continues to keep the medical card program, because that's the whole thing. Remember, I was demonized when I was a kid. It's a drug, it's a this. To me personally, if that happens, it'll just be the same as alcohol and tobacco, and that's the place it'll be instead of medicine. And for me, I think medicine just hits better for me. That's all.
Well, and like, you know, we're talking about education.
Yes.
You lose a lot of that education and that focus on how can it, you know, better people's lives? How can you treat specific diseases? How can you research it? Like, we need more research. So as we talk about cannabis remaining medical, you do have underlyings in our state of people who say, you know, it's so hard, it's frustrating to get your card, or, you know, the prices are too high, which, you know, more people will bring down prices as they come in, or it's so easy to go out of state. But remaining medical and supporting our medical program, that's how we keep it. Because, you know, the more we try to demonize it, or the more people talk against medical cannabis, the more that base just says, hey, let's just go recreational, let's go adult use. And then what you lose through that process is the focus on patients, you lose the focus on research, and you lose the support from the, you know, the industry itself, the people who are selling it, the pharmacists who help people have the best outcomes. I
want to say too that you probably lose the connection to the community, because now you're going to now have to treat it like drug, not drug, like alcohol and tobacco. You have to have all these warnings on it because it's now a party favor, right? Instead of it's medicine, and it should be treated with that respect. That's what I would love it for it to have that respect of medicine, you know, that title.
Yeah, and then it just becomes another commodity, right?
Yeah.
So you're trying to produce it for as cheap as you can to continue to try to make those profits, and the full focus is on profit. Like, you know, we have, I think, 8 pharmacists. You know, pharmacists would go away. And me personally, whenever it came out, and Senator Vickers, who's been a great advocate for the medical program here, senator from Cedar City, he required pharmacists to be in this bill. He's a pharmacist himself, and I'll be the first to admit, when it came out, I was like, pharmacists, they don't know anything about cannabis. Like, what are we doing here? You're going to cost us $500,000 a year to support, you know, to have this pharmacist program.
For what? Yeah.
And they've been such a great educator. They've learned it. They understand how it interacts in your body. They understand what the dosing should be, and they've been such a benefit for people who, walking through those doors the first time, for a lot of people in Utah, it's scary.
Oh, it's hecka scary, bro.
Yeah, especially those older folks who have heard the demonization of it their whole life. It is not easy. So to have a trusted medical professional who can help them understand how it's going to interact with other medications, that just telling them, hey, you're going to be okay. Even if you take too much, even if, you can't get out of the couch, you're going to be okay.
It's limited. There's a limit. You're going to be fine.
Yep.
Right. I mean, just growing up as a kid, I had an auntie, my auntie Ave. She would say, "What, you gonna go to hell? You want to die? You do a drug, you gonna go to die. You gonna go to a hell. You want to go to a hell?" And as a kid, no, I don't want to go to hell. No. So of course I didn't want to touch it. Of course I was like, no. So it was demonized for me as a kid. But as you grew up and as an adult, I started to hear that there's medical researches and there's things happening. We should really look at this. And then, our history as Americans, we have a lot, LSD, there's a lot of things that came to try to help that we used and abused, right?
Too. You look at what opiates have done to our country, our people, other countries. Opiates are devastating, and I'm not going to say there's not a place for them, because there's a lot of, I've had surgery. Opiates help you get through some pretty tough pain. They allow, recovery to improve.
Yeah, it's the getting off.
You get on those long term. I think everybody's been impacted by the opiate crisis, and having cannabis, there's a lot of research. There's just a research in Germany that showed using cannabis can help people get off. It finally proved it. We've been talking about it for decades. They finally, did a study in Germany and showed using cannabis helps people get off opiates.
Yeah, responsibly.
Yes,
because it's under the guide of a doctor, just like you guys have a pharmacist. I love that. I wanted to ask, did you encounter the surprised looks on people's, because when you first hear about cannabis, obviously the first method of delivery, people think about smoking, right? That's did you get surprises when people found out, no, you can apply it like a lotion. You can apply, you don't even have to smell any of those old tales.
Well, it's such an amazing plant. It's so versatile. And one of the, I think, benefits of it, having never gone through the FDA process where they basically hyper-focus on one molecule, and then they test that and test it and test it. And then it gets, only one group can sell it for however long. Cannabis evolved naturally. So it has a lot of different compounds in it, and you can use it in a lot of different applications, and you can tinctures. There's people who the only way they want to do it is, vaporization, where they're using the flower, and that's been a great benefit for a lot of folks. There's also edibles. There's, I think people underestimate, the tincture. People think like, oh, whatever, that's for older folks, grandma stuff. But I'm telling you.
Why'd you look dead at me when you said that,
bro? I was thinking of my own grandma.
You're like, look at me, dead old folks.
But the tinctures are such a great place for people to start, because you can dose them properly. They start, you start to feel the effects within 15, 20 minutes, and it's so easy. So a lot of people who want to, are a little bit nervous, that tincture is a great place for people to start.
I want to take a break, but before we do that, I wanted to ask about jobs, because it is a new business, and even though you see the beautiful storefront, right, or the beautiful pharmacy, if you will, there's other jobs that could come out of that. So what kind of jobs are available? Are you guys hiring? And where do I go to apply?
So Wholesome has almost 300 employees now.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. It's we've been around about 4 years now. A lot of them are delivery drivers. We're a big delivery first company.
Yeah. By the way, I've heard you guys have one of the best, if not the best, delivery program in the state, in the country. So congratulations.
Thank you. We've worked really hard on it. I give credit to our CEO, Chris. So Chris started a food delivery service back 10 years ago called
Before
Order
Uber
Up.
was Uber.
Exactly. And then once Uber, started spending all that money, he had all this experience in delivery, applied it to cannabis, which no one had really figured out yet. And because of him and Jason and so many other people that have helped Wholesome grow and serve patients, we have an outstanding delivery service, and it helps a lot of folks who want it discreetly. They can't get around. It's a free delivery service. So many people don't have the mobility they need. There's only 15 pharmacies in the state.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people, their closest pharmacy might be 15, 20 minutes away.
How many-
That's a long bus ride.
How many delivery drivers do you have right now?
I think 85.
Yeah, and are you guys looking for more? I mean,
Always.
Really?
Yeah, if you go to wholesome.co.com/jobs, I think all of our listings right there, we probably have 8 to 10 positions open at any time.
Wow.
We have a cultivation facility as well, about 85 employees there, retail, everything. It's become a big industry. And
Who said tester? What? that job is already taken. So
we
did
get a lot of
that come from the
applications.
engineer side? Did you hear that from the engineer side? Somebody said tester. Oh man, I thank you. No, I wanted to. Again, the reason why I wanted to end this segment with jobs is because I wanted people to, maybe go research it while we're taking a break. We're gonna play a song. When we come back, we'll talk about upcoming events and some of the new things that they're changing in the laws that'll benefit the clients.
All right.
We'll talk about that next. Don't move a muscle. Enjoy the music.
Nofo, ko'y whakalaw ha o Tongan. Pero manatu, aktu si o fofo nga. Tamasi, ko'y hanay si amea. They'll fight my lover, can't get forgive Maya. Baby, Nofo my head go hong e for mo uini. Au hia mo e ata mai. Koi fefe o himo ha o ki imali, imali. Whakamu no pe ke iloi kua whatu. Sinana foi kuku valu o faanga te ui pe te ui asi o hingona au moa tu asi o to'onga o malawea te au whakapa peko hana i tene lava.
My heart. I thought I was just like a nerd. Hey, even though we go to break, we have real conversations. It does not stop. Our guest today is Alex Iorg, one of the co-founders of Wholesome Co. in Bountiful. I know we're having an event this the 14th, right? We're coming up. We're going to be there. We last left you with jobs. What's the website one more time for jobs?
Wholesome.co/jobs.
Okay, go there if you're looking for a job. See, there are jobs available out there, and you could also be telling people too, hey, I'm a weed deliverer. Hey,
Hey,
I deliver
drop my
weed for a
name.
living.
Drop my name. Say Alex. Alex said to give me an
Alex
interview.
Sevi. I want to talk about the laws because I imagine you being one of the pharmacies in Utah, you got to be up there talking to them all the time, how to make it better for the clients and how to make it safer and how to make it even easier for people who don't use it. Because really that's the people we're worried about, is the people who don't use the program, who are scared and uneducated, uninformed, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's new and happening?
So before I say that, I think it's very important that us as patients use it responsibly.
Yes.
And because there's already so much stigma around us, we need to make sure that we are doing it responsibly, correctly, because every time you mess up, there's somebody there saying, I told you. Yep. Stoners are lazy, and they want to put whatever label they want on us. And so doing it responsibly, according to the law, and using it for your well-being and showing people, hey, it doesn't make you lazy, doesn't make you stupid. In fact, it helps you tremendously. Yeah. So some of the laws, right, is how you store it. You have to have it away from, in a child-proof container. You don't want, there are stories from time to time where kids get into it. There was a 6th grader up in Ogden who got some gummies and was handing them out to his friends. Those were out-of-state gummies. Those were not purchased by us, but us as pharmacies, we get blamed for this stuff. Yeah. And they say, oh man, this is what happens when you pass medical cannabis. Those didn't come from us. So we want people to come, get your card, learn how to use it responsibly. The pharmacists, the QMPs, our agents, our sales agents will tell this is how you use it. So, generally, it's start low, go slow, right? You don't want to have a bad experience. Unfortunately, because there's not the studies on it and the dosing, you are kind of your own guinea pig. So start slow. The best thing about cannabis is you always wake up in the morning. So, but some of the rules, there is no smoking. So you use a vaporization. I think flower is such a great way to use cannabis, but you have to vaporize it. Yeah. And then, let's see, there's...
but also, here's one thing that I have to, when I'm talking to the pharmacist and I'm trying to learn, is follow the instructions. For example, this is what I heard about edibles. It takes time, just like any food. When you eat it, it takes time for your body to digest. If you're anxious and waiting for the medicine to kick in, you might take another one just because you just got to follow and be patient. If it's new, like you said, because you're your own guinea pig.
Well, and that's where I was going to go. We have pharmacists, and they can help you. You have to meet with a pharmacist before you can purchase. You have to meet with a qualified medical provider and get your card. So there is processes to try to prevent these kind of experience. I hear it all the time. I took one, nothing happened. So a minute later, I took another one. Then I took another one, and then pretty soon I'm like having to remember how to breathe.
I knew it. I knew this was a bad idea.
No, so yes, start low, go slow, talk to your pharmacist, make sure you keep it away, don't share it. If your friend, wants to try some, encourage them to get a card. Go talk to a pharmacist. Go talk to the QMP.
And 9 out of 10 times, if you go to a Get Med card, you're probably going to get a stipend or some kind of discount that'll help you with the medicine.
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret that it costs more to come to a pharmacy, right? It's well tested, it's well regulated, it's legal. So is it worth it? Absolutely. But what we try to do is cover some of the cost of that card through discounts. You can get the products, test it out if you've never tried it before, make sure it works for you. And, not everybody is finding that it's going to cure everything, but it does help for a lot of different conditions.
As I've been telling people, if you've tried everything else, this is really about your comfort and if my mom has restless legs. She has restless legs. I snuck in some lotion, and she had relief. Didn't know what it was. I told her what it was, just because of her religious beliefs or whatever. She said, hey, it worked, but I'm not ready for all that right now, okay? So slowly, little by little, now she's asking questions about lole, candies, gummies. Yeah. What is this? What is that? So I think it's the relief is the thing that my mom is gravitating towards, and that's helping her wanting to learn and wanting to educate herself about the plant. So
good.
I really appreciate the program that you guys are putting together and the amount of education out there. What are the attempts to get everything in different languages here in Utah because of the melting pot that we have?
So Spanish is a big one, right? So, we can check that one off for most pharmacies. We have, pharmacists and agents that speak Spanish and can help. Outside of that, we need more work. There's more work to do, for sure.
Every case by case. I mean, obviously, if
Yeah.
you have an influx of Samoan speakers, then you'd be like, hey, we need a Samoan translator.
Yeah, and we can do our best to find people. If you have any suggestions, if you speak, I went on a mission to Boston, spoke Haitian Creole. So any Haitians, hit me up. I'll help you out, and I'll pretend like I still speak Creole. But
Do you keep up with your languages? Those are skills. I'm just saying. Do you keep up?
I don't get to practice much here. There's not a big Haitian community in Utah. So.
Well, if we did have some, and you were to tell them that we have, because this is a cultural podcast. We usually have focused on Pacific Islanders, and that's why we brought you on, because pain knows no culture, knows no race, and so my people have a lot of pain. And if G unit, gout, if we can get some relief from the G unit, from the C unit, that's why I brought you on, because my people suffer from a lot of pain.
Well, our whole security team, Tua with Koa.
Oh yes,
Koa, they're the best.
Hey, cousin, how's it?
Yes, I mean Tua. We've got that community covered.
Yeah.
You find Tua, you find ET, any of them. They're phenomenal.
Yeah.
So the other thing I was going to mention is a new law that just passed allows. So right now, as we sit today, you have to go see a qualified medical provider.
Right.
So that physician or anyone with a prescribing license has to go to the state, register, do a training. They got rid of all that. So any physician, any PA, any NP, they now don't have an excuse to say, well, I'm not a qualified medical provider. Go speak to one of those people. Bring it up with your doctors. We need to start getting doctors and the medical
regular
community.
doctors.
Absolutely.
Got you.
Go talk to them and say, hey, you can now prescribe medical cannabis for us. You can, and that can save money, right? Because then it's just within your regular course of business. But it's the discussion. One of the best things we did.
Bro.
Yeah, one of the best things we did by legalizing it is we can now have the discussion. People shouldn't be scared to bring it up and say, hey, this is helping me, or hey, can you help me find out what this would do for my pain?
Especially with your doctor, because that's a person. If anybody if anybody that you're not related to knows your body, it's your doctor, and I love that. You should have those personal conversations, because you do it anyway with other medications.
Absolutely, and if you're being prescribed something for pain, something for whatever condition it is, cannabis can probably help. So I think having those discussions is where it starts.
I know the 14th. In closing, let's wrap up to talk about the events, so people can show up at the events. Because here's the thing. I know you can go online, but I love the in-person stuff, because you guys are personable. I'm not throwing shade on any dispensaries. My experience with at Wholesome Co., everyone's friendly. Everyone says hi. Everyone smiles. At every pharmacy, I want to say that's the experience you get.
And you should be. We're helping people. We're having fun. This is something that you couldn't do it 7 years ago, 8 years ago.
Thanks for reminding. Yes, thank you.
So
great reminder.
We should be happy to do this. We should be happy to help, and this is it was a big step for the state to help patients.
Aside from the 14th, that's where people can show up at Bountiful at Wholesome Co. From 3 to 5, the event is to get your medical card for $75. Are you planning more events like this so that people not only can get their medical card, but also get educated? For me, it's really about, once you at least arm them with the information, they can go and learn and educate themselves.
Yeah, we usually do these medical events a couple times a week.
Okay.
And then we try to do one, bigger one that's more, we have nothing but grinds out with the, oh my gosh.
Those guys, man.
That food.
We ordered their bomb spam musubi. Me and Cindy were fighting over that one.
So we try to have it a community event. We're not trying to, when we first opened, it was like, don't ruffle any feathers. Yeah. And now we're like, hey, come see us. Come talk to us.
Before
we're not
you guys
scary.
were whispering, now you're at normal speaking voice. You're like, hey,
exactly.
cannabis cards.
we still want it to be discreet.
Yeah.
We're not trying to.
You're still the
shine
new
a
kids on the
spotlight.
block.
Yes, but we want to talk about it.
Yeah.
We've had so many success stories, so.
Yes, I am definitely one of those success stories. Again, was all because I wanted to make my mom proud of me. And I wanted to make sure that she knew I was doing everything as a son to make her proud. Even though you're not specifically of Polynesian descent, I know your last name starts with I. You could be Polynesian Island. But something we do on this show where we like to connect with our viewers is we like to share our family background a little bit. Kind of like the genealogy. You have Elias' background.
Absolutely.
Would you mind telling us your islands and your family background so that all of our cousins who are watching and be like, I need help, and I'm going to go to my cousin over there who has a cannabis company.
Absolutely. So the island of England is where half of my family comes from. Pioneer stock. So we cross the plains, and then on my wife's side, even a little bit more interesting, she's from the island of the Philippines. Ooh. We have beautiful two little beautiful kids, a boy and a girl, and my dad grew up in Northern California. And he was there when you started to have that hippie movement move in and start growing all the cannabis. He ultimately ended up at BYU playing baseball. He played professionally for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Hey.
And so he's a little bit of Mormon royalty. He's like, if anybody pronounces our name right, they must know my dad because he was like the Mormon baseball player, right? So Utah is my home. It's my culture. These are my people here. And it's not about necessarily what island we've all come from, because we've all come from somewhere else, right? And we're here, and we got to make this the best place we can. And we got to do it together.
Come on now.
Absolutely.
All islands getting along.
Yes.
Ooh, let's go. Well, thank you so much. Also, in closing, what about your social media handles so that people can go to follow your page, the Wholesome Co? How do we follow that?
That's a good question. I should know more about our social media. Go to wholesome.co. That's our website. What's funny is cannabis companies get shut down on Meta a lot because
it's the craziest thing.
They're still trying to get us off the internet. But
we're just talking about the card and medicine, guys. Okay, this is education. If you happen to enjoy it and have fun, hey, that's just a bonus.
I think it's Wholesome Co. Cannabis.
You know what? We'll post a picture of us, and then we'll tag everyone. We'll tag everyone.
Sorry,
friend,
Andrew and Nate. Our marketing team's going to be like, you don't know our social media
you know
handle?
What? Come and ask us on Friday. We're going to be over there at Wholesome Co. on Friday. Come and ask us in person.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you for
I
having
really
me.
appreciate individuals like yourself. What a task, knowing that you were faced against Utah and knowing the culture. But credit to you, the citizens and the political leaders of Utah, for seeing that this is nothing more than just a plant medicine. Alex, as we always say on Everyday People, if we can help but one person, we've done our job. And we always like to say goodbye and please be kind. My friend, any last words?
No, thank you. You're a legend in Utah.
Whatever,
You've done
man.
so much.
I still owe you money, don't I? I still owe you money. That's what it is, all right?
Yeah.
Have a good one, okay?
Thank you.
Medicaid and state.
Don't think I can hold on any longer. And I'm not getting any younger. Mama told me, son, you better listen to your heart. You know the pain that she has caused you. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. I won't ever love you the way that I used to. It tears me apart. And I cry 'cause I miss you, but I know I don't want to. It's history now. I know my heart is made to break, but how much longer can this take? I won't ever love you the way that I used to. It tears me apart. But I'll carry my heart. Yeah, yeah, yeah. At times I wonder how you're doing. And how is that new job you're pursuing? Oh, Mama told me some things don't keep living in the past. And take the lessons it has taught you. I'm moving on, I'm moving on, I'm moving on.
you.